Happy Friday, television family. Weekend's almost here. Of course, for me, it wasn't much of a week. I wasn't here Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday, and I was here yesterday, but not really. It is Friday, the 10th day of July, 2026. I am Dan Kuntz, 66 degrees here in the big city, which is exactly where it was yesterday at this time, and we got all the way up to 91, which is about where we're going to be today. A little bit cooler tomorrow, a little wind tonight. Not much. A little wind on Saturday night during the daylight hours. There's really going to be no wind at all. But we're a little worried about tomorrow to the north of us. Of course, about 2:30 yesterday afternoon, the B&O fire broke out up in the Omak-Okanagan area. That's already over 2,000 acres. Here we go again. Anyway, we'll have that weather forecast. And next week's going to be hot. And the folks in eastern Montana, the Dakotas, they're going to see record high temperatures for those folks. We're in for a lot of heat. Yesterday's high and low, as a matter of fact, was the 7th straight day this month that both our afternoon high and our overnight low were above normal, and that pattern is going to continue. This streak could go on for quite some time. News, lots. Sports, Mariners. They scored 4 runs. They needed at least 4 more. They didn't pull it off. They got swept by the Marlins. But keep in mind, this isn't your grandfather's Miami Marlins team. This Marlins team is good, very good. Nobody seems to go to their games, but they're good. Apple Sox pulled off a late victory as well. A lot of action going on at Wenatchee Valley's Super Oval, both tonight and tomorrow night. It's one of those rare weekends where they got action going on a Friday night too. We'll get to that. Yesterday, during our interview/conversation portion of this program, Hannah Bockett, the executive director of the Chelan-Douglas Land Trust, did a very good job to talk about the latest developments there on the Lookout Natural area above Omi Gardens. Today, Suzanne gets to do her turn. We did 2 interviews. I mean, why not? It was a beautiful hike, and we had a lot of time, and it was a great conversation. Suzanne Hartman is the campaign steering chairwoman because they got to raise some money to do something with that. It's one thing to buy the land, but they want to put trails in and stuff like that. They're going to ask your help to do so. Suzanne will tell you all about that in the back half of the program. Let's see what we're looking like on this Friday, and pretty nice. Just a couple of high clouds, and that's about it. But again, elevated fire weather conditions through the weekend to the north and to the east of us. That's the last thing that they need with the B&O fire. Things are going to get worse before they get better. To Jump Off Ridge we go. One of my just super favorite cameras of all time. A long time ago, like 30 years ago, a bunch of us actually drove from Wenatchee to Ellensburg, and we took the Clockham, which was pretty interesting. The truck made it. We almost didn't make it, but that is a spectacular view. I mean, you can see the entire East Wenatchee bench, and you can't quite see all of the Wenatchee area because the Wenatchee Heights abutment blocks that, but there's the Stimmel Basin and Malaga and Three Lakes. Let's go up to Billy Goat. This is about as close as we can get right now to the B&O fire. That's some of the residual smoke that you see. They have activated the emergency management group from Camp Murray, so that's got everybody's attention now. The B&O fire. We'll have more on this for the evening news tonight, but you can see some of the smoke there. The fire is actually quite a ways from where that camera is, but we don't have any camera farther north up the Columbia than that, so we thought it'd be pertinent to show you that from our Billy Goat camera. And finally, well, McNeil Canyon, which has been in the news. By the way, McNeil Canyon Road is closed because they got work to do. They still need to confirm a few odds and ends, and unfortunately, as Sheriff Tyler Cale will tell us in the news segment, there still may be perhaps a missing person or 2 in that area. That's a pretty sobering sight right there from high atop McNeil Canyon, but that's what it is. Fire weather concerns today, not so much tomorrow. Yeah, especially to the north of us. You can see the yellow deal. It goes basically right down the Columbia River Gorge from Oroville all the way down through Omak and the Okanagan area, Tonasket, down into the Chelan and Brewster. It kind of peters off before Wenatchee. It's going to be windy tomorrow in the Wenatchee Valley. We're going to have some sustained, well, I will say breezy, and most of the wind for us is going to be Saturday night, but it's going to be windy all day tomorrow up to the north of us. By the time the wind gets down here to the Wenatchee Valley, it will have petered out. This is Saturday, so it's going to be a little breezy tonight and Saturday night, but not during the day on Saturday for the Wenatchee Valley. But in the yellow area there is going to be quite blustery. That is not good at all. The strongest winds in this wind event on Saturday afternoon is going to be up in the Okanagan Valley where the B&O fire is underway. So today is absolutely critical for the wildfire firefighters to get a toehold on this thing before the really bad weather comes. Sunshine and hot today, not a lot of wind, just about 90, maybe 91, 92. We hit 91 yesterday. We may actually get to 91 or 92, but I backed off on the temperature because I can. No wind today, but we will see some wind tonight, a sustained wind about 10 to 15 miles an hour. The occasional rogue gust will pop up. We'll get down to 62, which is a little bit above normal for this time of the year. Saturday, slightly cooler, about 87. Again, very little wind expected on Saturday until we get to Saturday night, and then the wind will pick up again. It'll be windy. It'll be a little breezy up in the Omak-Okanagan area tomorrow morning. It'll be very windy in that area tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow night, and then eventually that wind will work down to see us in the overnight hours Saturday night. And then here comes a heat dome. Really gets going on Monday. It'll transition and move its way in here on Sunday. By Monday, it'll be here. And then look at the temperatures, 93, 96, 94, 96. All of those temperatures are above normal through the forecast period. It is, after all, the middle of July. Going to take a break and come back with your headlines on this Friday. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
Hi, I'm Amanda Walden with A. Walden Insurance Group. Medicare can be overwhelming, but you don't have to figure it out alone. I've been helping people understand their Medicare options for over a decade. Medicare isn't a one-size-fits-all. I'll help you understand your coverage options so you can feel confident in your decisions. Let's find the right Medicare plan for you. Call me today or come and see me at my office located on South Chelan Avenue in Wenatchee between the YMCA and the Social Security office. I look forward to meeting you soon.
The Surf and Slide Water Park is open from Memorial Day through Labor Day. Surf and Slide is located in the heart of Central Washington in Moses Lake with activities for all ages and abilities. Check out Surf and Slide's Flow Rider Surfing Simulator, Lazy River, two 200-foot water slides, tube slides, and diving boards. Our children's area includes a Treasure Island water structure, splash pad, and baby octopus slide. For season passes, visit us online or find Surf and Slide on Facebook.
Are you dealing with a pest or weed issue and you just don't know what to do?
We use the best pest control methods approved for areas with kids and pets.
Whether it's rats, mice, ants, or spiders,
or something else altogether,
we provide the coaching and solutions you're looking for.
And you can know that your dollars are supporting a local, family-owned and operated business.
Allow us to help you get back to living healthy and pest-free. Harvest Valley Pest Control.
Chelan PUD works hard year-round to reduce fire risk and provide dependable service for our customers. But when extreme fire weather is forecasted, we may resort to a public safety power shutoff, turning off power to a specific area in order to prevent fire. In this rare event, we'll keep you informed before, during, and after the shutoff. To stay prepared and check if you're in a PSPS zone, visit chelanpud.org/PSPS.
We've already hopped up a couple of degrees. 68 now. We'll be in the lower 90s today. A little bit cooler, but not much on Saturday. Expecting breezy conditions tonight and then overnight on Saturday. Not a lot of wind during the daylight hours, and then we're in for a long stretch of hot weather starting on Monday. Our top story is, still what's going on up McNeil Canyon Way. They're still assessing and searching in the McNeil Canyon area, and they will do so again today. They're trying to locate, hopefully they will not find, other casualties of the Chelan Hills Acres wildfire. The fire, of course, broke out on Independence Day. It destroyed a confirmed now 19 primary residences and we do know that one person has died as a result of that fire. A couple of days ago, Douglas County Sheriff Tyler Kale escorted NCW Life on a ride-along through McNeil Canyon, where an estimated 75% of the structures located there were destroyed during the tour. Kale provided details on how the assessments are being conducted.
When we were given level 3 notifications, they were, people, just like I said in other interviews, people choose not to leave. They choose to stay and try to protect their properties. And when they do that, of course they're doing that, under stress and duress, and you just, not everybody's clearly thinking. And we don't always know who exactly is even at all the properties. So there is always that chance that there is still somebody up here that did not make it out, that we don't know about, that may not even be tied to a particular parcel, but may have been staying on a property or staying in a vehicle or any of the above. So what you see here, some of the sheriff's office vehicles and these trucks, these are some of our assessment teams coming through now, starting to work. They actually brought cadaver dogs with them, so dogs capable of locating human remains. So if there's anything out there, anything that they pick up on, then the scene will be investigated more thorough and determine if there is something there or not. At least two of the handlers that are here and their dogs, they actually were deployed to Hawaii a couple years ago when the large fire in Lahaina occurred. So they've been utilized in several locations, nationally for scenes just like this. So we briefed those teams up at 9 o'clock this morning, and we've got 2 teams coming through here working both sides of the roadway, going to all the known locations they can to check and make sure that we don't have any other victims that we don't know about.
How long are they going to be up here?
As long as it takes. They brought five different canine teams in, so we have 5 dogs. Primarily, there's 2 dogs to a team. There might be one single team working, or they'll use one of the dogs as a relief. But they'll run the dogs around. If nothing is detected, then they'll clear, document that they checked the location and move on to the next. If they do find a positive alert because of the canine, then they'll mark the location, and then it'll be investigated more thoroughly to see what the dog provided an alert on.
Well, if you like road excavation and construction, you have been really enjoying getting around East Wenatchee this summer, and that continues to happen and will for quite some time. In fact, of course, they had a traffic shutdown yesterday at 5th Street in Eastmont. That, by the way, ends this morning. And this week, the East Wenatchee Police Department produced a video guide for ongoing traffic revisions, and there are a lot in the East Wenatchee area. That includes a closure of southbound lanes of Eastmont Avenue. That starts on Monday, and here's the video. And that's just a part of it. You remember that from back in December? Well, they'll be at it again between Leavenworth and Coles Corner on Highway 2. They're doing some work today and then big work next week. Our own Nathan Eshelman fills you in on the details.
Nathan Eshelman here reporting from Leavenworth, and right here behind me is Highway 2. And Highway 2 will be getting a little bit less busy as it will be partially closed starting July 13th to July 16th.
Starting Monday, July 13th, going all the way through Thursday, July 16th, there will be a full 4-day closure from milepost 95 to 99 on U.S. Highway 2. The work is for permanent repairs to the damage caused by the December 2025 storms that caused a lot of flood damage. Just after the storms hit, there was temporary fixes to the eroded stretch of US 2 just outside of Leavenworth, but now, with warmer weather, they are going to make permanent repairs to the road. Aside from the 4-day closure, work is expected to begin on Tuesday, July 7th. Starting Monday, July 13th, the highway will be fully closed 24 hours a day, with the road expecting to be reopened on the evening of July 16th. During the full highway closure from milepost 95 to 99, eastbound traffic will be detoured to milepost 85 onto Route 207 at the Chumstick Highway. Westbound traffic will also be detoured, but at milepost 100 to the Chumstick Highway.
That'll do it here from Leavenworth. Nathan Eshelman, NCW Life.
Horse Lake Road and Birch Mountain roads in the Wenatchee foothills have reopened for regular traffic. They, of course, were temporarily closed through the holiday weekend. The gates were unlocked on Wednesday. Both roads, of course, lead to popular hiking areas in the foothills. Chelan County closes the upper stretches of Birch Mountain and Horse Lake Road each year to avoid the danger of fireworks and dry and sensitive sagebrush. And the sagebrush is still dry and very sensitive. Of course, it was a couple of years ago that the balsam root fire was ignited by fireworks on the 4th of July weekend. That fire burned 305 acres in the Horse Lake Reserve area and threatened nearly 200 homes. The state senators for North Central Washington are among those urging Governor Bob Ferguson to hold a special session about gas prices. Senators Keith Gaynor and Judy Warnick this week joined 7 other Republicans in a letter to the governor saying Washington's cap-and-trade carbon tax and low-carbon fuel standard are adding 60 cents to the gallon of a price of gas in the state. A gallon of regular in Washington, as of this morning, is averaging about $4.78 a gallon right now. That's according to Gas Buddy. The senators say they want a special session of this legislature to debate those bills, and that would suspend those gas taxes. A group of students has helped the Wenatchee School District avoid a big fine by meeting state energy compliance requirements. It's the Student Energy Managers Program, and they employ Wenatchee High School students to inspect district buildings, collect utility data, and track energy performance to meet the standards of this state. The district says it was informed by the Washington State Department of Commerce that the program prevented a possible $433,000 fine under the state's Clean Building Energy Performance Standard. The state law requires large buildings to meet energy efficiency standards or be fined 30 cents per square feet. Well, Wenatchee High School is 278,000 square feet and is classified as a Tier 1 building, which had a compliance deadline this month. The district says the money that would have gone to the fine is instead going to go towards supporting student programs. And the Grant County PUD will offer 10 public electric vehicle charging stations when their new service center opens in Ephrata. It's partially the result of $250,000 in grants from the Washington Department of Energy and the Washington State Department of Commerce to help electrify travel around the state. The state's transportation electrification strategy requires all newly constructed publicly accessible buildings to set a percentage of their parking stalls aside for EV charging. The PUD will also install 12 new chargers for its own fleet at its facilities in Ephrata and at the Wampum Dam. In addition to grants, the utility plans to use about $1.2 million from the sale of clean energy allowances under the Climate Commitment Act to cover the installation of putting those babies in. And that's the news on this Friday. I'm sorry I've lost track of the day of the week. And I also, again, neglected to shave. I'll be clean shaven on Monday, I promise. The news tonight at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 10 o'clock. 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 10 o'clock. Grant Olson in the anchor chair. It's also on at 5:30 and 6:30. I occasionally forget about that. If you got Apple TV, we're on that. If you got Roku, we're on that. If you got the Amazon Fire HDMI thingamajig, in you go and you're good to go, or whatever. We have that. We have X, we have Instagram, we have a website, we have a song in our heart. The commissary is closed. Long story there. Send us an email if you got a news tip, news@ncwlife.com. The Mariners really need the All-Star break to come. Well, they still got 3 games to do it. They didn't do very good again yesterday. Sorry, but like it or not, sports is next. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
Between juggling groceries, preparing meals, and lending a helping hand, you're a hero without a cape. But who's there to support you? Aging and Adult Care honors caregivers like you, the relatives, friends, and neighbors, helping loved ones remain safely at home. Aging and Adult Care offers chore services, respite, personal care, and more. Serving Chelan-Douglas, Grant, Lincoln, Adams, and Okanagan counties, call Aging and Adult Care at 1-800-572-4459 for caregiver support.
Are you dealing with a pest or weed issue and you just don't know what to do?
We use the best pest control methods approved for areas with kids and pets.
Whether it's rats, mice, ants, or spiders,
or something else altogether.
We provide the coaching and solutions you're looking for.
And you can know that your dollars are supporting a local, family-owned and operated business.
Allow us to help you get back to living healthy and pest-free. Harvest Valley Pest Control.
Now there are even more reasons to meet at the Pybus Market. Outdoor dining and tastings, the fabulous Farmers Market, Saturday artisans on the concourse, and your favorites all week long. No matter the reason, it's always time to meet at the Pybus Market. Pybus Market, where community meets.
Slide and surf all summer long. Soundwave Saturdays, more than a surf park, it's the summer scene. Grab a drink and enjoy live music every Saturday in July and August. Slide Waters in Lake Chelan. Don't miss it.
Just about 23 minutes after the hour, Josh Naylor scored the very first run of the game in the top of the second inning. And then it was all Miami after that. Mariners got swept yesterday's final in Miami, 8-4. Bryce Miller gave up 6 runs on 9 hits and 5 innings of work. Here are the Mariner runs, by the way, plus post-game comments from manager Dan Wilson.
There goes Naylor, and he's got it easy without a throw. He's going over to third, and now it's thrown away, and Naylor will coast home. Speed kills. Josh Naylor just stole a run. It's 1-0 Mariners.
Well, a couple things on this play. First of all, he steals second because Jansen Junk, again, just off the IL, the game is moving quick, even in that first inning when he got into some trouble. So he steals a second base. And one thing that Josh Naylor can pick up on is the fact that that pitcher's not paying attention. So he gets that huge jump, gets picked off, obviously. But then Jansen Junk, again, these are the little things.
This is really tagged out to center field, and Randy leaves the yard back in Florida. That was crushed. Double digits now for Rosarena, his 10th. 6-2 Miami.
I'll tell you what, this offense's team, day 3, when you're staring down a sweep down by 5 runs, all of a sudden you needed that right there here in the 5th inning.
Wow. This ball is blasted out to center field and gone into the batter's eye. Domkant zone. That'll wake you up late at night. What a shot. Mariners pull within 4.
You can see that fastball just kind of running up the middle part of the strike zone right after a mound visit. Just hunting dead red.
You know, tough one again today. You know, we had some opportunities early in the ball game. just weren't able to capitalize on them, and we were able to get some traffic there early. Chance, to probably get the starter out of the game quickly, but just not able to convert those into runs. Kind of put us behind the 8 ball a little bit, and I thought Bryce, just wasn't coming out as sharp today, and looked like he had a tougher feel for his secondaries, and the 4 walks is, not indicative of Bryce, and again, these guys hit the ball line to line, and they took advantage of the opportunities that they were given, and that was kind of just the difference in the ball game today. We did, show some fight trying to get back later, some at bats where we got some traffic, just weren't able to get that big hit and get back in the ball game. I think it was just one of those days for Bryce where it felt a little off out there today, and I think obviously he the velo was down a little bit, but really was more I think the feel for the secondaries where he couldn't get into the zone or didn't feel as consistent in the zone, and again it's tough to pitch when you're behind in the count at times, but obviously it's just one of those days for him, and he has been so good for us this first half.
Mariners are in Tampa this weekend. 3 games. Louis Castillo will start today after the 3 games in Tampa. The badly needed All-Star break. The All-Star game will be, by the way, in Philadelphia next Tuesday. So the Mariners lost and the Rangers won, which means, well, we're not in first place anymore. Here's your scoreboard. Rangers beat the Angels 7-6, so the Mariners are now a half game behind Texas for first in the division. The Astros are 2 games back. They didn't play yesterday, and the Tigers beat the Athletics. France is in the semifinals of the World Cup again. It's becoming a habit for France, and they are looking really good. Morocco is good. France is better. They got to be the favorite. France defeated Morocco in Foxborough in the quarterfinals. The final there was 2-0. So we have 1 team in the Final 4. Who will join them? We'll know 1 more today in Los Angeles, California. It'll be Spain and Belgium. Spain has not even allowed a goal in the World Cup. That's pretty good. The clean sheets all the way. They'll take on Belgium at noon on Fox, and then the final 2 of the quarterfinals will be on Saturday. The schedule is this: in Miami, Norway will take on the 3 Lions. Go England. That'll be at 2 o'clock on Saturday afternoon on Fox, and then the final of the quarterfinals in Kansas City, Argentina, and Switzerland at 6 o'clock on Fox. It was 3-3 going into the top of the 9th inning in Port Angeles, and Wenatchee scored 2. Ergo, they won again. Apple Sox are smoking. 5-3 was the final. It was at this time last year. I don't know if you remember or not, Wenatchee was on an 8-game losing streak. Now nobody can beat them. The Apple Sox swept the lefties 3-0, and now here comes Kelowna into town for a 3-game weekend series. 6:35 first pitch at Paul Thomas Senior Stadium. And here is the rest of the West Coast League scoreboard. Kelowna is nipping at Wenatchee's heels, but Wenatchee is looking really good. We'll just see how good Kelowna is this weekend. They beat Kamloops last night. Edmonton over Nanaimo, Bend over Victoria, Springfield doubled up on Walla Walla, Yakima Valley over Ridgefield, and Corvallis beat Portland. 2 nights of racing at the Wenatchee Valley Super Oval, but the real attraction is the monster trucks. And for a small fee, you could ride one. I kid you not. It starts tonight at the WVSO. The gates open at 6:30. The racing starts at 6, or gates open at 4:30. Racing starts at 6. In addition to the monster trucks, you got the Plum Perfect Roadrunners and the WMRA Midgets. Again, gates open at 4:30, and the racing starts at 6. And then tomorrow, more monster trucks. Again, a chance for you to get inside one of these things and take a ride. Plus, there'll be racing at the WVSO, the Rockstar Energy B-Mods, the WMRA Midgets, and the B&T Towing Youth Roadrunners. Gates open at 4:30 both today and tomorrow. Racing starts at 6. They highly recommend that you bring cash. They will have extra food booths, extra beer gardens, and extra help because they're expecting a ginormous crowd. But as has been mentioned to me by Jeremy Andrews many times before, because of the location of the Wenatchee Valley Super Oval, you can't guarantee that your card is going to work. But if you bring cash, you know it's going to work. And those are just some of the games that people are playing. The holidays today are the following. Independence Day in the Bahamas. Who they got their independence from, I don't know. I didn't have time to look it up. Today is National Don't Step on a Bee Day. Today, It's not good for you, and it's really not good for the bee that gets stepped on. It's National Pina Colada Day. Not going to sing it, can't pay the royalties. National French Fry Day, too. But today, we celebrate will be kitties. It's kitty day today. Kitties are cute. A lot of people don't like cats. I don't know anybody who doesn't like a kitty. It's National Kitty Day today, and in honor of that, I have fun facts about kittens, such as, I think you probably know this, kittens are born with their eyes and ears sealed. It takes a few days before they can see and hear anything. And since more than one male cat can impregnate a female, a lot of litters can have multiple fathers. It happens quite often. As a matter of fact, kittens from a litter don't necessarily all have to be born at once. Sometimes a litter will be born and then another kitten will be born like 2 or 3 days even later. Sometimes mother cats will chew off their kittens' whiskers so they won't wander off, because until they get their eyesight and their hearing, they use their whiskers to work their way around. And mom doesn't want the kitty to go too far from the source of food. Long-haired kittens take longer to get their eyes and ears open than short-haired kittens. Why, I don't know. All kittens are born with blue-gray eyes, then eventually, as they get older and get bigger, their eyes will develop the color that they will have for the rest of their lives. Kittens knead with their paws, and they usually take that all the way through to adulthood. It's instinctual. It inspires or stimulates milk flow from the mother. That's why your kitten does that, and most of them never really get past that. And kittens, unlike cats, are vulnerable to cold because they cannot regulate their body temperature. Once they get older, they can. So, yeah, it will be kitten day today. Yes, I could look at that all day. 32 minutes after the hour, today in history, guess that state flag. Here we go. Probably won't take you too long because the name of the state's on the flag. Happy birthday, Wyoming is 136 years old today. Joined the Union as the 44th state on the state in 1890. Officially known as the Equality State. It's also known as the Cowboy State. The state song is a song called Wyoming. I played it the other day when I was researching this. It's just called Wyoming. That's the state song, and it sucks. You can do better there, Wyoming, although we do love you. Wyoming is the least populated state in the Union by far. 576,851 at the last census, I should say. The largest metropolitan statistical area in Wyoming is the Greater Cheyenne area. The Greater Cheyenne area has just a little less than 100,000 people in that metropolitan statistical area. The Wenatchee Valley's metropolitan statistical area population is about 125,000. So if you transported the Wenatchee, East Wenatchee area basically between the dams and put it in Wyoming, we would be the biggest city in Wyoming. Wyoming was the first state to grant women the right to vote. It was in 1869, 21 years before the 19th Amendment was passed to do it for everybody, all the women. There are only 2 escalators in the entire state of Wyoming. They're both in Casper, Wyoming. And Wyoming did not raise the legal drinking age from 19 to 21 until 1988. That was the last state in the Union to do so. And the only reason that they did it was they were coerced into doing it. They said you have to raise your legal drinking age to 21 or the federal government ain't going to give you no more money. And they said, okay. Happy birthday, Wyoming, 136 years old today. It was on this date 113 years ago that the temperature in Death Valley, California topped off at 134 degrees, which is the highest temperature to ever be recorded on this planet. 134 degrees. In fact, Death Valley, California is always the hottest place in the United States every day, and so they don't even use it when they do their when the National Weather Service does their national high and their national low. They omit Death Valley just out of practice. Of course, it would always be the hottest place in the United States. In fact, the average high temperature, the warmest temperature we've ever had here in the Wenatchee Valley was a few years back. You remember that year. It was like 2022, I think it was, when we hit 114 degrees. The average high temperature in the month of July in Death Valley, the average is 117 degrees. You better really like it hot in Death Valley. 101 years ago today, on this date in 1925, Meher Baba spoke his final words. Don't worry, be happy. And then he lived. He wasn't dying. It wasn't like his deathbed. He lived for 44 more years. He just chose not to speak again after saying, don't worry, be happy, on this date in 1925. For followers of Meher Baba, and there's some pretty well-known people who are, today is Silence Day. You do not speak on this date on every July 10th in honor of Meher Baba. That's pretty good, not talking for 44 years. That's probably why he never got into broadcasting. And one of the most amazing, incredible baseball games of all time, 94 years ago today, it was the Philadelphia Athletics and the Cleveland Indians, Game 3 of the 3-game series. Now, the first 2 games, Friday and Saturday, were played in Philadelphia. But the Sunday game was moved to Cleveland because in 1932, Philadelphia had what they called blue laws, which prohibited professional baseball in the city of Philadelphia on Sundays. And so after the game on Saturday, both the Indians and the A's got on a train and went to Cleveland to play the Sunday doubleheader, the last game of the Sunday of the 3-game series. Well, the owner of the Philadelphia A's, Connie Mack, was pretty cheap, and the owner had to buy the individual train tickets for his players. And so to save money, he only brought with him 2 pitchers, just 2, the starting pitcher and 1 relief pitcher, just in case the starting pitcher got into trouble. Well, Lou Krause, the starting pitcher for the A's, did get in trouble. He gave up 3 runs in the first inning, and so Connie Mack put in his relief pitcher, Eddie Rommel, and Eddie Rommel pitched in relief the next 17 innings. He was the only other pitcher on the staff. He gave up 14 runs, 29 hits. Both are all-time records. He won the game 18-17. I'm surprised his arm didn't fall off. Well, what's the greatest relief performance of all time in the history of baseball? That would have to be it. 17 innings of relief. It was on this date in Cleveland in 1932. Birthdays. You know this guy, Tesla. Yeah, Nikola Tesla, who basically, he didn't invent AC, but he made it practical, the practical application of the modern AC electricity supply system, courtesy of that guy. Pretty eccentric, too. I read a biography of him a couple of years ago. An interesting guy. Born in the state in 1856, died in New York City in 1943. David Brinkley was born on this date. I love David Brinkley. The Huntley-Brinkley Report, everybody watched it in the 60s when people would, 33 million people a night would watch the evening news. The Huntley-Brinkley Report was it for about 15 years. And of course, this week with David Brinkley was my Sunday morning appointment television back in the day. He won 10 Emmy Awards, the great David Brinkley. Great writer, too, born in the state in 1920. Urban Meyer, one of only 3 coaches to win national championships in college football at different schools. The other 2 were Nick Saban and Pop Warner. He won 2 national championships at Florida and 1 at Ohio State. Urban Meyer is 62 years old today. And Sofia Vergara has done very good for herself. She's 54 years old today. For heat and air, call Alpine Air. For heat and air, call Alpine Air. They are our platinum sponsor. If you're going to have a platinum sponsor, you want a platinum company. Worked out good for both. Going to take a break. Mike Benatti's got an opinion, and then I had a great conversation up at the Lookout Natural area with our friends from the Chelan-Douglas Land Trust. Yesterday, you heard from Hannah Bockett, who runs the joint. Suzanne Hartman gets center stage today. She wants you to whip out her checkbook, and she's good at it. A great conversation with Suzanne coming up. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the Instant Life channel.
NCW Life Channel is your local TV station. We believe in being the spotlight and mirror to the communities we serve in North Central Washington. Programming on NCW Life would not be possible without our sponsors. Special thanks to our platinum sponsor, Alpine Air. Turn to the experts at Carrier and Alpine Air.
When you call Dick's Heating and Air Conditioning, you get 35 years of experience and customer service in the Wenatchee Valley. Dick's friendly staff strongly believe in repairing before replacing and service all major brands of HVAC units. Dick's Heating and Air Conditioning is your local, independent, trained comfort specialists, proudly serving all of North Central Washington. Call 884-6444 today.
Hey, this is Mike Mad Dog Magnati, and everybody is entitled to my opinion. Now, it is my understanding that 2 local religious organizations are including firearms and other use of force training in their church-related activities. Now, this is fine. Church can do anything they want. But this type of thing has nothing to do with Christianity and absolutely nothing to do with promoting or building the kingdom of God. Yeah, I know. Jesus asked his disciples who had a sword prior to heading to the Garden of Gethsemane, but also said if you live by the sword, you're going to die that way too. Now, it's interesting. The Apostle Paul tells us that the kingdom of God is love, peace, and joy in the Holy Spirit, and that the weapons of Christianity are not earthly, not firearms, but they're spiritual. Sorry, folks, but you know who you are, but you can't co-opt Jesus into justifying your paranoia. This is Mike Mad Dog Magnati, and that's my opinion.
From the ocean to the mountains to the forest in between, vacation time can be a fun time. But not if your car breaks down. Let the professionals at Global Car Care be your car maintenance partners. Global Car Care, serving our valley for 25 years with expert service, integrity, and quality workmanship. Global Car Care, they speak your car's language.
Your favorite local channel is now available for free on your smart TV and connected streaming devices. Watch live programming and catch up with the latest shows on demand. See the local stories that matter to you. NCW Life, now on Roku, Fire TV, and Apple TV.
There's something about this time of year. Longer days, open windows, more time spent at home with the people who matter most. For generations, Boswell's Home Furnishings has helped families create spaces that feel warm, welcoming, and lived in. After 100 years serving our beautiful valley, Boswell's commitment remains the same. Quality furnishings, personal service, and gratitude for the community that made it all possible. Boswell's Home Furnishings. It's closer than you think.
Wake Up Wenatchee Valley is back high above the foothills on the north side of the Wenatchee Valley with Omi Gardens in the background on the latest acquisition from the Chelan-Douglas Land Trust. It's called the Lookout Natural Area. The city forked over some bucks. They applied for some grant money, and now it's your turn. And here comes Suzanne Hartman to say, well, we love this area. You want to help us out a little bit? And this is, Suzanne, this is not your first rodeo when it comes to helping out the Chelan-Douglas Land Trust when
Not
it
at all, Dan.
comes
Not
to the
at
deal.
all.
13 years ago, you came to the Valley.
Yes.
And you apparently fell in love with it. The natural beauty, I suppose, more than anything else.
I was in love with the Valley long before I came here. I would bring my kids over to go hiking in Chelan and Stehekin and all around. And then when I had a job offer to come to Wenatchee, I thought, oh my gosh, paradise. Somebody's going to pay me to live in Wenatchee Valley. That's fabulous. And I immediately got hooked in to not only the Wenatchee Naturalist Program to learn more about the area, but then the Chelan-Douglas Land Trust.
which again, as we mentioned before when we had Hannah on the show, they closed the deal in February. It's one thing to close the deal. Now it's on to step number 2, and that's raising the money. Now you've done this before. You've helped with any number of projects for the Chelan-Douglas Land Trust. Do you know who to call? How does that work? Pitch me Suzanne's pitch.
Suzanne's pitch. Well, I'll tell you, it's amazing because when I came here in 2013, they were just looking at developing the Foothills campaign, and in 2014 it was full on and in gear, and I got totally engaged in that campaign and spent a good deal of time working on that campaign. And it's honestly, the people here are amazing. The residents of this valley, of Chelan and of Douglas counties, they're amazing how they open themselves up to this kind of a project. I mean, it means something to the people here. So it's not really that hard of a sell. I mean, the beauty of it is, the pitch is that this brings a whole nother arc of the crescent of the Wenatchee Valley to the foothills. And the potential beyond this property itself is amazing because it's all public lands to the north. And the opportunity to work with our partners on those lands to maybe expand the network of trails is amazing.
And the network of trails is back in the day, it was the loop.
Yeah.
And now it's the loop and the foothills, which are perfect complements to each other. Sure. The loop is a nice lazy, if you just want to saunter or ride a bike, you're good to go. But if you want something maybe a little more challenging, a little more cardiovascular, you got the gorgeous the hills that take you up and down elevations and give you some spectacular views.
And think of all the partners that we have, like Confluence. I mean, the health aspects of the foothills trails, fantastic. CVCH, I mean, they have been wonderful partners for us in terms of encouraging people to get out on the trails. This project sells itself, and I'm really excited because we're about 80% of our goal. The land trust, as you've mentioned, is $4.3 million is the total campaign, but the land trust will come up with about 2/3 of that, and we're getting close. But now that the campaign has gone fully public, we're relying on the public to do what they always do and just say, yes, land trust.
It's funny you brought up Confluence Health. A very good friend of mine used to be a recruiter for Confluence Health, and I said, so when you get people fresh out of medical school, fresh out of residency, and you want to recruit them to come and live and ply their trade and raise their families here in the Wenatchee Valley, what are some of the selling points? And she said, it's simple. We fly them in and we take them on a hike. Absolutely. Because they're physicians, they are naturally going to be into health, and he goes, this place sells itself.
Absolutely. It's not a hard sell at all. Not only for our residents in the lower valley, but all around Chelan and Douglas counties, and then the visitors from the west side who love coming here.
I was going to ask Hannah this, you would know as much as anybody. Are we good stewards of what we already have in the trail? Do you take a hike in the trails? You say, God dang it, somebody threw garbage out there. Are we doing our part in the general public?
I would say by and large, yes. Yes, that people really do value what's here. And I think if someone does leave something behind, someone behind them will pick it up. Maybe the less helpful folks don't bring bags for their dogs, which we'd love if they did. But by and large, our trails are really in good shape. And then the stewardship portion, which also is part of the funding from the land trust, is critical to keep it that way.
Your passion obviously shines through, as did Hannah's. Is there any concern that we may actually just love it to death? That so many people enjoy what we have for these beautiful nature hikes and wildlife viewing that we may ruin it?
I suppose there's that potential, but I think because people care, they're not going to let that happen. Perhaps our biggest threat is wildfire, and we're all responsible for that, and we've all got to take ownership of that and make sure it doesn't happen. But love it to death. I hope in that loving it to death, it's also in preserving it.
Speaking of preserving, this is also wildlife live here. Mule deer there's a reason they close the trail system in the wintertime. That's mule deer habitat. Bighorn sheep. Yeah, they don't. Bighorn sheep enjoy a good view too, I suppose.
Absolutely. And think of it. Think of not only the wildlife, but in July, the celestial happenings are tremendous. And to come up here on a July evening and be able to watch the Milky Way or Venus and the moon, and sunrises are beautiful, sunsets are beautiful here. So, I mean, the potential is there. But wait, it won't be tomorrow. The trail probably won't open till 2029. So hold on, but help us get there.
Yeah, and you can do your part. If you go to the Chelan-Douglas Land Trust website, you can't go anywhere unless you get past that little pop-up and click on it and go. It's pretty straightforward.
Yes.
It's pretty. I mean, you get everybody in the valley to pitch in $5. I think we about got it.
Well, could be
something along those lines.
It really, but this community, as I mentioned earlier, is so tremendously generous, and I think that they see it as kind of selfishly. It's an investment not only in their own use, but in their kids and grandkids' use too.
Outside of the website and the pop-up, again, can't miss it. And it's going to stay there until they get the money. How else can we help you out? What else can we do?
Spread the word. Let's get the word out. Tell your neighbors. Tell your folks at pickleball. You know, let people know that this campaign is happening, and we're almost there. But we just need that little extra to get us over that, and we're hopeful that we can make it by the fourth quarter of this year.
We live in God's country, but we got to take care of it. Suzanne, it's great to see you.
Thank you.
If you need any more help from me, you know where to find me.
You betcha.
All right. Keep up the good work. I'm sorry I didn't bring my checkbook. It's a long hike.
You're on speed dial.
That's okay. That's true. Yeah, they know where to find me. Trust me on that. You're watching Wake Up in Wenatchee Valley. We'll be right back.
Your favorite local channel is now available for free on your smart TV and connected streaming devices. Watch live programming and catch up with the latest shows on demand. See the local stories that matter to you. NCW Life, now on Roku, Fire TV, and Apple TV.
Community is more than just a place. It's the people, stories, and connections we share. At the Wenatchee World, we're your neighbors, your storytellers, and your trusted voice. From uncovering the issues that matter most to celebrating the moments that bring us together. We deliver the stories that keep the community moving forward. The Wenatchee World, your community voice, here every day.
Blue Lagoon is now scheduling pool installations for spring and summer of 2026. Book now for your free consultation to lock in your savings of a free heat pump, an $11,000 value. Let the experts at Blue Lagoon Pool and Spa handle the construction, installation, and regular maintenance. Turn your backyard into a vacation paradise with an industry-leading San Juan pool. No need to go off the deep end. Relax knowing you're in great hands with Blue Lagoon Pool and Spa. Give us a call today.
Whether you're building from the ground up or transforming your space with a custom remodel, One Way Construction is your trusted partner in creating a home that's uniquely yours. Your dream home is just a call away. Schedule your free consultation and let's build something amazing together.
This is Maui. He's one of our more shy dogs. He's in our Heroic Hounds program. He's about 2 years old, I believe. He's a mixed breed of sorts, so whoever adopts him get him tested and figure out like exactly what he is. He's been here since March, so quite a while. It's harder for him to get adopted just because he is so shy, but once he warms up, he's very outgoing. Like when I grabbed him to come over here, he was like jumping on me and he was all happy to see me, and he's just a little bit more nervous right now, but so much better. When he first got here, he was so shut down, and now he likes to, me and him hang out a lot, and he's opened up like a lot. His favorite thing to do is to play tag with other dogs and then run into the pool. We have a pool up in the yard up there. He came in as a stray, so we know nothing about his background. Probably a place with no kids, and then someone who's probably home a lot and has another dog preferably. He does great with other dogs. Just someone who can spend a lot of time with him, just to get him, you know, warmed up to you and to the place and environments. He is kind of scared of doorways, so it does take time for him to get used to new places and everything. He's up to date on all of his vaccines and everything, and yeah, he is neutered. He loves playgroup. We have a program where dogs can go up and play together, and he loves it up there. He'll play tag with the other dogs, so basically he'll just run in circles and play with the other dogs. And then we also have a pool up there. He definitely loves the water, so he'll just run and jump into the pool and be like a little spaz. It's super cute. He knows sit, and then he does know lay down. Hey, lay down. Yes. That's about all right now. We've been working with some other things like stay and wait, and we've been working on shake, but I don't know. I don't know if that's gonna work out. They should come to the Humane Society and come meet with him, and basically you would sit down and just like a slow introduction, just to see if it's a good fit. You'll talk with our behavioral team. They'll take you through a series of questions and like just see how you would do with him, and they'll show you like how to best get him to warm up to you into the new household. We're open from 12:30 to 6 every day of the week.
Give them a call at 509-662-9577 or visit their website at wenatcheehumane.org.
"72 degrees here in the Wenatchee Valley. We're on our way to a high in the lower 90s. Complete weather forecast details are coming up during the daylight hours today and the daylight hours on Saturday. It's going to be plenty of sunshine and plenty warm, but no real wind in the forecast for the Wenatchee Valley. But tonight and again overnight Saturday into Sunday, there is going to be some wind. In fact, take a look at this graphic that the National Weather Service sent our way early this morning. They are a little nervous. Everybody who lives in that yellow area is going to be a little nervous come tomorrow, because that's where the real wind is going to be. And of course, as you probably know by now, the B&O fire up in the Omak-Okanagan area broke out yesterday afternoon at about 2:30. And so for the firefighters up in that area, today is a critical day to get as much water and retardant and fire lines around that B&O fire, because the wind is going to be barreling right down the Columbia River Gorge through the Omak-Okanagan area. It'll be petering out by the time it gets down to the Anayatt-Wenatchee area, but it's still going to be plenty windy for us in the evening hours on Saturday. But during the day on Saturday, especially Saturday afternoon, those folks are right in the bullseye. So fire weather watch Saturday for that area that you see there. They may change that to a red flag warning for that same area that you see. I hope not. From the National Weather Service, here we go. Sunshine, about 90, maybe even a little warmer than that. We're off to a pretty warm start. It's 72 already, and it's not even 8 o'clock yet. Clear tonight, a little breezy, not too bad. Overnight low of about 62. Sunshine Saturday, a tad cooler, but not much, 87. And then a little bit of wind on Saturday night here in the valley. Again, a lot of wind, as we already mentioned, up in the Okanagan-Omak area on Saturday afternoon into the evening hours. A little breezy, but not too bad down here. And then we're done with the wind. We transition on Sunday to a high of 88, and then a big dome of hot weather comes our way all of next week. Have a good and safe weekend. Start next week with us. Until then, bye-bye.